Hey, what's good, everybody? I'm joined here with Chancy. What did you do and what'd you play?
We just got top 4 at the Vancouver Regional. The first one in 9 years, by the way, which is insane. Somebody punched a hole in the wall of the hotel last one, so we didn't get one for 9 years. But I played Spright, pure Spright. I think it's the best deck. It's a lot like pure Zodiac. You just play, engine. You have like Zodiac Barrage and starter, and then you play a bunch of hand traps. So it's good going first and like decent going second as well.
Yeah, for sure. Deck is broken. Do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to Marcus for lending me the Ultimate Slayers. He gave me an IP as well. Super clutch. He used to lend me cards all the time. Shout out to Chicago. He lent me like all my Ulti Swap Frogs and like Super Diva and the Toad, OG, everything. So, shout out to him. Shout out to the Kelowna guys that all came out. It's been a while since I've seen them, where I'm originally from. So it's nice seeing everyone.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the list.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's really standard, but just like play most consistency, 40 cards, 3 Diva. This one's like insane because it's a tuner, so if you open like super insane, you have like 3 extenders, you can actually search Ash off of Hulk and bounce it back with Swap Frog, but you do it in like random matchups like Eldritch where you know they're not playing Nib because you play a Nib. 3 Swap Frog, 1 Ronin. Insane card to open, obviously. By the way, if you open like Diva and Swap, you should always discard Diva for Swap because having this on the field guarantees that you get toads through like a lot of hand traps. Whereas if you have this and your Gigantic gets stopped, you have no access to Swap Frog, so you can't really do anything. Also, like you send this anyways, so like it replaces itself by being 2 monsters versus like the 2 Divas, if that makes sense. And then Spright cards, it's really standard. These 3 blue, 3 jet. Red carrot. I side this one out basically every game 2 and 3, except for the matchups where it matters, like certain like trap decks or whatever. It's just another name. Sometimes when you have 3 extenders, you have to have another name to search, and then you summon to have that 5th body. It's very, very good against like tier limits and also other decks. Then hand traps, just played a bunch. 3 Ash. I also played 2 Bow and Dita Crow. I was originally playing 3 Dita Crow, but somebody told me like the other day that this can negate Toad when they try to negate any monster effect, including in the graveyard or like anywhere not on the field, because like the set effect apparently it's weird ruling. But yeah, also this can be used offensively and defensively. So like against cards like opposing DD Crows, Called by the Grave, random like Math Mech, the trap, and also like Gamma. Like a lot of people are rolling Gamma, so if I go like normal summon Diva and they have Gamma, I just pass my turn. But if I have this, at least I still have the level 2 body on board, even though Gamma can negate again, but you can still like summon Sprites and actually play. 2 Veiler, 2 Ogre, and then 2 Nib. This card is actually super insane right now because this plus any other hand trap against Spite Mirror match is just like game because you can wipe their entire board. They use red to like negate the other hand trap. Also, like if you pair it with Veiler or whatever, it's really, really good. Also in the grind game, like they don't always have the luxury to make Gigantic and resolve it. So this is just like really, really good. It's good against like generic other decks. And then 3 broken card plus this. I always search this going first. A lot of people play Dark Ruler, and like this is just anti-Dark Ruler, so if you can, definitely add this instead of another starter. 3 Tactics, insane card because you can rip your opponent's hand when they use 1 hand trap. Obviously it doesn't stop your flight combo, so you just look at their hand. You can steal cards and normal summon Veiler or Tuner and make Hulk, and then you go into a full combo as well because you summon like a Diva or another Gamma and make Gigantic. Just really, really crazy card going first and second. And then probably the best card in my deck, 2 Pot of Desires. I see people playing the other pot. I don't know why. It's Prosperity. Like, I feel like this deck is a lot like Pirzu. So like back in the day when there was 3 Rapier, no one played this card because they thought you had to resolve like the Emerald combo. But later on in the formats, they realized that this card was like insane. And it's the same principle in this deck. You literally like, it doesn't matter if you banish Rolling Toad, you can still have like your other Spright engines, you have red and whatever, and this allows you to get 2 cards, which is super, super important, especially in the mirror match. You get like 2 hand traps or 2 cards that grind through your opponent's board, whereas the one Prosperity, sure, it's probably better like consistency wise because you take what you get, like what you want, but like that card just gets stopped, so it's like a 1-for-1, whereas this like puts you ahead. Like in this Spright mirror match, especially going second, you just want cards that are 2-for-1s and just like make you creep more and more in terms of tempo and card advantage. And then this card should probably be banned. And then 3 Imperm. This is probably one of the better hand traps, especially because a lot of times in the mirror match, like they obviously are going to summon red to negate the other hand traps. So you can just hold this until they get to Gigantic, and then you just use it on Gigantic. So if they don't have Swap Frog access, then they can't make Toad, which is like the one thing that you lose to in the mirror match because it's like 2-for-1 with the elf. But if you can stop that, you can still grind and just like come back and win. Okay. So yeah, 40 cards main deck. You do extra deck. Okay. I'll get out of here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Link, Street Slide off, you should definitely play 3. I see people like OCG playing 2, but they also play 2 Dryden during Peer Zoo, which makes no sense. Like, this card is just so good at grinding, so you definitely want to play 2. And then Hawk, this is just like insane. You don't make it a lot, but it just fixes like a lot of bad hands. You can like talents like a tuner or something and just make more normal summon Veiler. Obviously, you can special summon Ash as well if you have like a really godlike hand, and just like play into Nib. But sometimes you can nib before it. Mirage, this one's really good. You play around Ghost Ogre. Obviously, like a lot of times you don't want to do it turn 1 because you play right into Nib. But when they have a board and you're going second, you can do this play around Ogre. Also, like if you just summon Swap Frog and send, it's full combo with this because you link it off and bring it back with Rolling Totem. And then what else? I played IP and this card. This is really, really good. Somebody deburied me today and I was able to make this as another interrupt, whereas if I didn't play this, I wouldn't have one. So obviously this deck doesn't have a lot of removal. It has a tough time getting over big creatures, especially against like Nib token. You have like 2 ways to get rid of it. Literally like this or this, but this you crash, you take a bunch of damage. So like this is like one of your go-tos. And then Trouble Sunny, because I play Ultimate Slayer, really broken. This is 2 for 1, makes Ultimate Slayer because you can banish this and then you send the brick, and then some non-targeting send any card from field to graveyard. And then XYZ is 2 gigantic. Really, this is like 3200 obviously, so like one of the only ways you can get over big stop by attacking over. Totally awesome, broken. Zeus package, really, really relevant in the mirror match a lot of times because you do have to like Zeus your board to get rid of everything, because again this deck has like no removal. This card really, really good. Can't be destroyed by battle as well, so you can stall sometimes if it's like a convoluted reduced board state. And then this is the other Ultimate Slayer target, so like against a fusion deck you bounce back like a Winda and then you pop something. And then side deck is tokens, 3 Ultimate Slayer. This card is like the best card in the side deck. It's just really, really good against the mirror match, good against like tier elements, good against also rogue matchups like Salamangreat or whatever, just plays links because you send, it's always a 2 for 1, you know, and it sends its cost, so they can't like Solemn Judgment or whatever. And also like it's not once per turn as well, so sometimes that comes up.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then you just play a lot of cards going second because this format I think you're really favored going first. Like it's easy to play through stuff, especially with Spright cards. So you just play like better hand traps going second. You side out the bad ones for like better ones. So like the Ghost Spells and the Crow, obviously in the mirror match you side these in. This just ends your turn if they don't have starter.
Yeah.
And then on your turn sometimes you can get this out as well and just make Hawk full combo. If they like Ash, like a starter or something. And then 3 Solemn Judgment going first. This card I think is a lot better than the other one, the one that like pays 2k and looks at your hand, because a lot of times like in the board state, it's just like everyone's hand trapping each other, so the game is just so reduced. Where this is like really, really good because it's 1 for 1 and it's grindy, but that card it's like not very good, and your opponent sometimes just adds it back and just like you go -1 because the game is just like so slowed down by the hand traps. And then 3 Twin and Harpies for like trap decks. This deck struggles just like every other deck, struggles against like the trap deck sometimes, like skill drain and whatnot, so this is really good. I also side this in a lot against like tier elements because for the traps. And then last card is obviously the brick for the Ultimate Slayer, which you have to play. This has a grave effect, by the way. You can contribute to Link Monsters, bring this back, and then your opponent has to like send cards to the control too. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that's about it. Obviously, Spright I think is the best deck, so it'll probably be everywhere after the YCS.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats again on your
Hey,
top, bro. Yeah.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on the channel.
Yeah, of course. To everybody out there watching, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Good.
Peace.